William a thumbs up. Quick and efficient. He was not quick and efficient.
Okay. Welcome back to Cram session, everyone. This is your host, Jacob, and as we accommodate you with the soothing sounds of Bone Thugs and Harmony, a nice little touch for our less cultured viewers, we would just like to say that we extend our chillin' nature to you on this Sunday, the 7th, February 2021. We got 4 fellas around here. We got me, naturally. We have Gabe, Henry, and a newest member, Dylan.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm Dylan. I'm a junior. I'm excited to be here. Just kind of sit in. I've heard a lot about the podcast, so I'm excited to finally, be able to give my input in it, and should be a fun one today.
Sure. So guess what? Cat's out of the bag. Junior year in the age of COVID. What do we do, guys?
What do we do? That's interesting.
Well, Dylan has a fucking job, so that's one thing.
Dylan does have a job.
Working is fun. I mean, it's one of the things that gets me through. You hear that junior year is the hardest year, so I think that dealing with COVID over, it's kind of we can one up all those other people, all those other juniors. But yeah, I don't know. It's not too bad. I think I just waiting to graduate still, trying to fight through.
Gabe, you've never had a job, right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Technically not.
So Dylan is the only one here that's ever been employed.
Employed by a company. I've actually got 2 jobs right now. I'm an umpire for T-ballers, and I work at Little Caesars.
I mean, if we talk about that, then I ref for soccer.
That's valid.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting paid to do something, it's
So
valid.
if you want to put that on your resume, you could say, I'm employed by Caesar himself. I work for Little Caesar.
My
Yes.
miniature Caesar himself.
I'm an ambassador for the Caesarian throne.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself an ambassador. More of I don't know, the lowest of the low, getting paid that
Cash register.
cash register, getting yelled at for old pizza.
Really?
Yeah, pretty standard.
Oh, nice.
Isn't all Little Caesar's pizza old pizza?
I mean, to
Okay,
an extent,
Dylan,
yes.
you work at Little Caesars, but no bias, do you consider Little Caesars the best fast food pizza?
Okay, well, that's gonna come down to what other pizza are we considering fast food pizza?
Okay, so fast food,
Is
it's
there such a
just
thing?
like chain pizzas. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, Pizza Hut.
It's
I
Pizza
wouldn't-
Hut, Papa John's, Domino's.
Marco's.
Marco's does not count.
Really?
Marco's can't
Because
count.
you can sit down at a Marco's and it can be nice.
You can sit.
Well,
down
how
there.
widespread is Marco's?
Okay, Little Caesars you can't sit down. Riverside you're not sitting down.
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut you sometimes can sit down, but not usually. Papa John's you can't sit down.
You can't always
And
sit
Domino's
down.
You
can't
can
sit
sit down at fast food places.
Yeah, but
When's the last time you sat down at Papa John's?
I mean,
but fast food pizza you don't typically sit down.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's more
not
drive-through,
wrong.
walk in,
But
walk out.
there are a lot of Marcos that don't have places to
So
sit down.
generally,
Okay,
out of
I
those,
guess Marco's. Yeah, I mean Marco's is good, but out of Domino's, Papa John's, Little Caesars, and Riverside, those are my 4 fast food pizzas. I think it honestly comes down to the pizza you're getting.
That's true.
Domino's has a really good barbecue pizza. We don't sell barbecue pizza, so I mean that's kind of unfortunate. But I think it also comes down to you expect less when you come to Little Caesars, so you're paying less, so that makes it taste better. We're all pretty evenly crappy though, so I don't know if any of us are really that good. But depending on the time of day you come in, yeah, Little Caesars is just one of the better ones, definitely.
I think I've only had it once actually.
Yeah, same.
I don't know. That's I don't get that. I used to have Little Caesars all the time. I still have Little Caesars all the time. I eat it every time I work now, but
Papa John's was always our favorite, and Papa John's is still probably my favorite.
Papa John's is just too generic. pizza. You know, there's nothing special about
Nothing
it.
special about
What's,
pizza.
like-
what's wrong with pizza?
No, not, I'm not.
They-
I'm not
they
saying
got
it's
the
no.
garlic sauce.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's bad.
They have the garlic sauce, and
True.
it comes with like the banana pepper, and that banana pepper actually
Yeah,
gets
that's
nice.
true. That's what
That
gives
is
Papa
true.
John's.
Okay, I rest my case.
Like if you're going just for a basic pizza, I feel like Papa John's is the best.
Yeah,
Yeah, Domino's makes the more specialty pizzas, and they
I
have
like
the
the
special
garlic
crust.
they put on the crust. Yeah, that stuff is good.
Domino's like
Pizza Hut has like nothing to offer.
That's true.
Pizza Hut's
Actually,
just-
we used to get Pizza Hut all the time because we could get like wings for my mom because
Oh,
she's
sure.
gluten free. But like looking back, Pizza Hut's actual pizza is like the worst.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just kind of
they put like
It's so
Yeah.
spongy.
they put a minimal
and,
amount of
like,
sauce as well. There's like none on there.
oh, God.
yeah. That brings up a point. Some people ask for light sauce pizzas so that we have to make them fresh, and we can't give them one that's hot and ready. Eat no matter how fresh that hot and ready one is. They're like, oh, I just need a pizza light sauce. And just a tip for all you guys out there: don't be that person who asks for a light sauce pizza, because we all hate you. We hear light sauce and are immediately annoyed. I don't care if you're the nicest person in the world. If you ask for a light sauce pizza, I'm never going to be able to be friends with you. And that's just how it is.
Hey, next time he's on a shift, we should all pull up and just order 3 large light sauce pizzas
And a
I wanna
Chicago
sell them
deep
to you.
dish.
in a Chicago deep dish.
Not sell them to you.
No. We go alternative mode. We just go heavy sauce. Just smack that shit on
Extra
there.
sauce.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you hate Chicago deep dish because of like just you think it tastes bad, or just because it's a pain in the ass to make?
Okay, well, the thing about our deep dish is it's not like... So, Chicago deep dish is in a circle. And our deep dish is like the squares. So, yeah, it is like more dishes to do, but they're not very hard dishes. I can't lie out too much about our deep dish pizza and why I dislike it, but like, there are certain I've had bad deep dish pizzas from Little Caesars that makes me dislike our deep dish pizza. I like deep dish pizza. It's just ours is kind of, and with so much bread,
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to eat. Like you only eat like 2 slices, and you're just like
that's fair. That's fair.
you're kind of slowing down, and it's just I'd rather just go skinny and
Yeah.
get down like 6, 7, maybe 9 slices.
I mean, in my opinion, like you can ship like a pizza straight from Italy. It's not gonna top like a classic, just like New York style, just thin crust, like straight up slice of pizza. Like nothing beats it. Nothing. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
because when I order pizza, I'm not like, oh yeah, I want a gourmet culinary experience. I don't know, tell my grandchildren about it. Gets a 5 Michelin star rating. That has never been true for any pizza that's ever existed, because guess what? It's dough and it's cheese and it's meat and it's tomato sauce and it's just rolled up into a blanket. Like, how complex are you gonna make that? Like,
I don't know, man. Remember when that pizza challenge? And who was I with?
Oh shoot! I barely remember that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
wait, what was that?
I was with you. We made the double decker pizza.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
were saying that like it was a pizza.
For
eating
sure.
No,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
We had this thing for Jacob's birthday last year where we all like made pizzas. I think we talked about this on the podcast beforehand, but we're talking about it again because Dylan's here now and he hasn't heard this. But so we got into teams of 2, and there were like 4 teams, right? And so we all had to like design a pizza, and Jacob and I did like a double decker, like circle deep dish basically. We wrapped cheese and sauce inside the crust, and then like layered the crust over it, and then put more cheese and sauce, and then sauce on top of that cheese, and then more cheese on top of that sauce, and like it was cooked like perfectly, and bro, that was good. But yeah, that was
like crack cocaine.
that was probably one of the best pizzas I've had, and I'm not just saying that because I make it, because I know there's that whole thing about how like people who make their own food enjoy it more. I think like just honestly, like your dad gave it a 10 out of 10, so I respect.
that did
I respect
win
it.
the contest.
That did win the contest.
Now, just kind of exploring pizzas is fun. That's something I've gotten to do because we
Yeah.
have wings with barbecue sauce, and then we have pizza dough. So, and I love barbecue pizza, so I just made a barbecue pizza with the ingredients we have, and like I just love putting whatever I can and just creating random pizzas in the
Yeah.
back. Like that's probably one of my favorite parts of my job, honestly.
You guys have boneless wings?
No, all of our wings are have bones in them, and
Yeah.
they're like really small, but they're good.
So you just like take them off the bone and put them in the pizza?
Is it only barbecue?
No, we don't. No, I don't use that meat. I use different meat.
Oh, okay.
But I use the barbecue sauce from
There we
that
go.
we put on the wings. instead of tomato sauce. Don't mix tomato sauce and barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
it's
true.
just not. It's not a good combination.
Yeah, I figured it sounds completely dog water.
Yeah.
I've actually never had a barbecue pizza.
Really?
Sounds good though.
There.
I've had a buffalo
Life-changing.
pizza. Those are
You made a buffalo pizza.
no, that was Evan and Subby that made that.
Do you make the Bosco one?
No, that was Roscoe and Adam. I made the
Yeah.
I had the one with Robert. It was just like a plain ass. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, just pepperoni.
it wasn't anything special.
Hmm.
But yeah, well, like if you go to Mellow Mushroom and you get the buffalo chicken pizza with like it has like ranch on it, it's actually really good.
Hot take. Mellow mushroom is kind of overrated in my opinion.
It's
And-
overrated, but it's still really good.
The dough just kind of gets to me. I don't know. There's something about it that just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's because they
tastes
put
good.
Parmesan on it.
Well,
You put
no,
Parmesan.
but even if Parmesan makes me nauseous.
Dude,
but
cold take, mellow mushroom is perfectly rated. I'm sorry, bro.
cold
No.
take.
I don't know about that.
I think it warrants all the credit it gets.
I do really.
If
like
I want
Mellow Mushroom.
if I want to like pay money for a pizza, that's where I'm going, bro. I like that spring water crust, man. Nothing beats it, dude. I'm gonna eat that crust first, like Donald Trump.
Is that how he eats his pizza?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
There was a leaked commercial where Donald Trump eats his pizza crust first.
Oh, dude. Speaking of commercials, all right. Super Bowl later today. All right. I'm so excited. Okay, like I love football, and I'm gonna be watching the game.
Yeah, yeah.
But the
The
commercials,
commercials
at
in
the
the Super Bowl are unmatched.
are just great, and I'm so okay. I'm really excited for most of them. I hope they don't get like super political because like that's just been shoved in our faces so much.
Yeah, true.
So I kind of hope they just go back to like trying to be funny and sponsor their own product. I'm so excited for the commercials. But I mean, like Doritos usually have some pretty good ones. Some of them have fallen off though. Do you guys remember those old DirecTV commercials?
Yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah.
they'd be like, "Oh, when you get angry, you do this," and then it would just lead into something terrible. Oh, those
They
were
have, like-
the bomb.
Doesn't Old Spice always have a reserved spot for a new commercial in the
I
Super
love
Bowl?
Old
Old
Spice
Spice
commercials.
has, yeah, they always have a new one drop, but they have like new commercials drop every month.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, they just drop.
Progressive has some good ones too.
Progressive can get
Not
funny.
Progressive.
Get off my back, bro. Progressive? Are you kidding me?
I mean, Flo kind of sucks.
Have you
but-
guys noticed that Flo like went from like 30 to 85? Like she looks way older now.
Is she really?
She
I
kind of did. She grew up.
haven't
really
been
fast.
watching much like cable television besides like NBA right now and like some football.
Yeah, this is
but, like-
our conversation is essentially just a characterized version of corporate America. We're living it, folks.
Yeah.
But it's funny. We like consuming products, guys. Oh my god.
Thank
Watch
you for
this.
polluting
My
me
boss
out.
freezes.
Yeah, put that right up
now.
against the nut.
It's so loud.
It's actually busting.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like
You.
He unsheathed
I-
you.
I kind of feel like Progressive's commercials all tend to be the same. So does State Farm. State Farm used to have good commercials, but now they just like rely on Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes so
Yeah,
much.
true.
It's
And,
like,
like-
oh, these big names. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, just like be funny again.
That's true.
The halftime show last year actually wasn't that great.
Who was the half?
Shakira and
Oh,
J-Lo.
oh my
Dude.
god.
No, that shit was ass.
Dude, last year's halftime show was the closest I ever got to having sex. Dude, that shit
The
was
girl.
ethereal.
I'm pretty. Wasn't one of them pregnant too? Or
Yeah,
something like
I
that?
think J-Lo's
What
pregnant.
was I saying? Why?
Not sure. I'm not.
If
not
I ever become
100%
famous,
sure.
I'm killing myself.
God
Straight up, I'm not going to Hollywood. I'm not going to
Pull
Hollywood.
a Bo
Understand-
Burnham and be like, I'm
understandable.
famous, so I'm leaving.
Exactly, that's a power move right there.
Dude,
that's
Bo
why I
Burnham.
I
respect
fucking
him.
love Bo Burnham.
He's awesome.
Burnham's great.
It's-
I want him to make more movies. He made one.
I
movie.
think he is.
8th grade or whatever.
He made it.
Eighth grade was
That's
okay.
pretty good.
I would-
It wasn't funny. I wanted it to be funnier, but like.
Yeah, I mean that's the
get
thing
it.
is
he wanted to be serious.
Yeah, he's trying.
and he
I think he's trying to like drive it more away from
Well,
comedy.
Like,
well, yeah, he.
I swear to God, like I know a lot of people say this to like try to appear humble, but like I unironically believe this. I would rather be poor than be famous, and I mean famous not like, oh yeah, you made something really good and now a lot of people like it. I mean famous in the fact like you're like a
Paparazzi
celebrity
type shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would literally rather die than be a celebrity, dude. That would be an
Yeah.
awful life.
I mean that's the thing that
Yeah.
like. I'm not like this is gonna sound like really out of proportion, but like what I'm trying to do in my life is either like direct movies or produce music. Like I'd be happy going down either path right now, and so like it's really hard to stay in more of like a closed category where like not everyone knows who you are, which is kind of where I want to be. because like Jacob's saying, like I don't want to be like a super famous like paparazzi chasing you down the street. Like if I want to be a producer, I don't want to be like DJ Khaled kind of shit. Like, DJ Khaled doesn't really make good music, but everyone knows him because of his tags. But like, so that's like, there's a certain line that you become like, not you, like you cross at a certain time frame of like being known that kind of constitutes between like being known, being famous, and being a celebrity. And I'm just trying to find like my medium, I guess, in like just in life, whether I do music or movies or whatever I end up doing. I don't want to be like too known kind of thing.
No, I get that. I mean, I feel like having the paparazzi around you all day would be so annoying.
Yeah, that would suck. But like, cause that's the thing is like all these like famous like pop stars, they don't write music for themselves anymore, and like it shows. Like, not to like bash on anyone, but like Ariana Grande, she used to write like good music. Like I won't even lie, like her first albums, like I'd say like I respect them, and like her new shit is just like what.
I don't even get it anymore. I mean, it's just
like her song like 34 plus 35, which if you add that together equals 69. The entire song is just about like f***ing, you know, and I'm not talking about the city in Norway.
The kind of like, I think they see a like mold that they have to fit into, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just wish someone would be like, okay, no, I see this mold, so I'm just not gonna go into the mold.
Exactly. Like,
because it's gonna get annoying.
But like that's the thing that happens is there's like that's like the 0.1% of musicians that are famous and they're still out of the mold. Like don't get me wrong, I hate his music, but like Ed Sheeran isn't like every other pop star.
Well,
and
he does the collabs. I think that
he does do the collabs. That is true.
The collabs keep him in like a dip. He's like dipping his toe in every genre. Like he's got stuff with Eminem and 50 Cent. That's like he's living in the rap world for a little bit. He's got stuff with country stars.
He's got a lot of stuff with like
he just bounces
beats.
around.
Yeah.
I think a couple of people like Cody Jinks. I don't expect anyone to really know who he is. He's a country. I'm not gonna call him a country star, but he does country music, and like he kind of took on a kind of Johnny Cash vibe, I guess.
I kind of like that. I like Cash.
Yeah, like old and just slow, pretty basic songs, you know, easy to play.
Yeah.
But like, you know, the deep voice, raspy, talking about real stuff. I mean, it was just...
it's better than cold beer on a Friday night.
Yeah, we're knocking boots. I
I hate that.
I mean, that's something like... I love the sound of the country genre and the way they sing.
Yeah.
But I just can't get behind like 80% of the song's lyrics.
Yeah,
like you just...
It's just pop music now, though.
It's repeated. It's like repeated like country stereotypes in every single song. Just about wearing jeans and drinking beer in the backseat of your truck. Like okay.
It legit feels like a joke. Like, the writers of the songs are joke. Like,
that's the thing is like
Bo Burnham
did
he literally made a song.
He made a song making fun of country songs, and it sounded like hilarious. Country songs out there. Like he was doing it as a joke, yet it sounds like every other country song you listen to.
No, when I listened to Cold Beer for the first time, I legit thought it was like someone doing what Bo Burnham did, and they were like just doing a parody to like make fun of it, but it's like genuinely real, and like
well, they just sing about they just kind of like put that like, you know, they do this to their voice, and then it's automatically country.
Yeah,
and
it's like this.
I mean, you got pop star talking about like living up in the club with a girl and then going back to his place and having sex. Then you got a country star living up in the country field and then going back to his place having sex. Same song.
Yeah, just in a different location.
Different voice.
Yeah, different voice, different location.
I mean,
and like nowadays, like I'm gonna say like pop in like 2000s and like early 2010. That shit was like good. Like I remember just turning on like
Coldplay.
Yeah, stuff like that. Just turning on like public radio station back when I like didn't have a phone and couldn't use Spotify and stuff.
Public radio was the best.
Public radio was the best, and I listened to like this one like super generic pop channel, but they had like all the good shit like Train, and like Train was oh my god. And like that's the thing is like pop songs back then and pop songs now are so different. I feel like pop, it's because the whole genre like rap became such a bigger thing with the public, like in the late 2010s.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, don't get me wrong, rap was always like pretty popular, but not like among like every single person kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now, like, I think pop is trying to fill more of a category of rap. Because sometimes we can't even, like, constitute between a rapper and a pop star at this point.
That's
Like,
true.
there's some rappers that'll consider themselves pop stars. Like, I still say Post Malone for the most part is a rapper, but he calls himself a pop star kind of thing.
Know. He's got so many non-rap songs
That's
at
true.
this point. I mean, like...
That's the thing. It's just the image too, and the image, like pop stars and rappers are just kind of like cross imaging now. Like you can't, if you just look at a picture of like a rapper, you could be like, oh, it's a pop, like Drake, you know, like you'd be like, oh, it's a pop star sometimes because it's just. But like Post Malone looks like a rapper, you know. He's got all those tats. The only thing that makes him different is he has like a long, or he's bald now, but he had like a long ponytail and like a beard, and like that just doesn't seem like a rapper kind of thing.
That's true.
But like rap music and pop music have technically become the same thing because there's like melodic rap, you know, which is just like singing.
It is, but I mean, you also have rappers like Eminem who are really straight, just like sticking true to their. I mean, they're doing what
that's what I'm saying. It's more like there's some like rap pop, you know, kind of thing, like popular rap, like Ian Dior kind of stuff. We have an Ian Dior inside joke, but artists like that who just. They don't sing everything, but a lot of their stuff is more styled towards like pop sounding music, especially now that pop is using more like rap music, like instruments and stuff. They had like Ariana will do a bunch of like 808 beats in her pop songs down while she sings kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just completely disregarding what pop used to be, and that kind of makes it sad because for the longest time, like from like the 80s, like 80s pop and like 2010 pop weren't really half as I wouldn't even say they're like half as different as what 2010 versus 2020 pop has become.
Yeah,
it was a big jump. Anyways, that's a lot of music talk. Just like last episode where I got flamed for it.
We gotta chill out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you made a lot of good points there. I feel like I don't know, like I don't really have a dream profession per se because most of what I want to do with my life is very ambiguous and none of it is very like concrete. I couldn't write down on a piece of paper what I want to do with my life, like, as a job, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, as I've gotten older, like, I used to be sort of like a shut-in, but now I like interacting with people, right? I feel like I wanted to do that as a part of my life.
Yeah.
So if I get famous, I want to be famous like Jordan Peterson is famous. If you guys have heard of that guy.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know. Would you like to tell us about him?
Peterson is the I believe he's Irish. He's this motivational speaker.
Oh, yeah, got it.
He's a motivational speaker.
He's this motivational speaker, author, and a general orator. He goes around the world and he just gives seminars on like self-improvement and like philosophy, I guess.
That's really cool.
But the thing is, he's like famous, right? Like he's got like millions of followers on like Instagram and all that. Like he's definitely famous, but he's famous for the right reasons. Because he did a bit on Joe Rogan, where he was talking about his experience. And the thing is, people follow him around, but they don't follow him around like, oh yeah, look, who's he having sex with this week? It's like people come in suits just to see him. Like they like spruce themselves up, they get cuts, because this is a man they look up to. It's like their icon, right? He's sort of like he's essentially like a second Jesus Christ.
I mean, well, I'd say there's a line between worship and respect, and but I'm saying it's a very thin line. Yes. In the eyes of fame, worshiping someone is right next to respecting someone, and someone like that, you know, they're famous for like making a difference in the world in a really good way. I don't think people are like, most people aren't gonna worship that, you know. People are gonna respect him for who he is, you know. They're gonna be like, you're a great man, you've done great things in the world kind of thing. And then we got, you know, like girls looking at Cardi B singing about her vagina as like, oh my fucking God, you know. I'd say that's more of like a worship, because you'll see these girls just like posting her song lyrics on their story, and like, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Like, if you want to consider it body positivity, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you that it's not, kind of thing. Like, everyone agrees, everyone disagrees on things, you know. I have no opinion on that, but there's like, that's really not someone to worship, you know. Like, don't bow down to celebrities because you believe that they're idols only in your eyes, kind of thing, you know. Like, you're nowhere more special than anyone else for worshiping a celebrity that other people don't worship, and you shouldn't think of yourself as more special for doing so. That's my 2 cents.
But like, I don't know, the reason I'm using Peterson as this specific example is because like people like don't come to him because they're interested in like the irrelevant parts of his life, because it's not his life that's important. That's the good thing about his fame. It's not him that's important. It's the wisdom that is associated with him.
That's the respect. Yeah.
Yes. Because he gives seminars like, oh, how you should stop drinking, how like you should how hierarchies are inevitable, and like you should learn how to naturally move up, how like responsibility is the essence of life, I guess. Stuff that have like actually like changed people's lives, like people saying like, oh yeah, I got back with my wife, I got a promotion in my job because I followed your advice. It's a replicative and supplementary form of fame, I guess, which is sort of something I want to replicate. Because the difference between like someone like that and like a celebrity is sort of like, I guess you could call it like a consumer product, right? Like you buy it, you eat it, you're done.
Yeah.
But that's I would say it's like, and I don't want to be consumer product. That's more like a song, right? A song, like you listen to it, and if it's good, then you just keep listening to it, and eventually it just becomes a part of how you express yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's why what happened in the music industry, as you're talking about, has really just sucked, and it sucked for our culture too, because Gen Z, I would say, is probably the first generation to grow up with a full access of just every song in existence at their fingertips, like with Spotify and like iTunes and all that.
Yeah.
It's a weird, if we want to talk art history, it's a weird point in art history, because if you look in the past, like the Renaissance era, art, like music and all that, was reserved for the high class, educated, like creme de la creme of society. And now it's like anybody with an inner connection is now a connoisseur in fine arts. And I think what we're seeing right now is a sort of anti-art culture, where we're saying that something like a song should be more like Fruit Loops than Michelangelo, I guess. And I don't know. I just that doesn't sit right with me, right? Because I don't want to move through life, I guess, and then just having just like consumed and left behind only waste. To me, that just seems like a gluttonous, complete waste of my time. And then I'll die, and my legacy will have been a shameless sucker bottom feeding on the pores of society. Which brings me back to high school.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you make a good point though. Like between like the celebrity and like famous it's kind of, I think people think, oh, if you're famous, you're a celebrity, but that's not how it is. Like celebrity is people who want to be out there. Even people who are well known, like this guy you're talking about, I forgot his name, something Peterson. Yeah. But like there are ways to be well known, but not a celebrity. You don't need all of this.
Yeah.
You don't need all this attention. I mean, and so because people let attention go to their head, and
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's what causes the kind of consumer product. I mean, you're putting stuff out for the people, like just to kind of get rid of. That's why people have to keep on come out with music.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Johnny Cash, right? He's out songs like. And he'll put them out, same with like Billy Joel. These people like put out songs that people still listen to now.
Yeah.
This is stuff that like has been just like preserved, I guess. But then you have like celebrities now, or singers for the most part. They make a song and it's like you're like, oh, that was good for like a week and a half. It gets big on TikTok, and then it's like dead because people are like, oh, this song's so fucking annoying now. Like,
Yeah,
like I can't stand it.
No
So
one
they have
can.
to come out
Yeah.
with something new. Like and. Like you said, I mean, there's not going to be anything substantial there when they're gone, because people kind of like, oh, remember this person? Yeah, I do, but like I kind of, but like then you want to leave something behind, and I think the internet, though it probably for the most part has, I don't know, I don't think it has a very great impact on our culture. I think.
Well, I think that's Like, listen, I don't want to TED pill every single viewer of Cram Session and just go into the industrial society and its consequences. Because I could, listen, like, give me some DMT and I could rave about that for like 2 hours. But I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, like, listen, our generation is the first generation that lives in this sort of society where everything is industrialized, right? We are the factory generation, right? Yeah. And I think what sucks is that society has monopoly on your welfare. Yeah. I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, our social welfare stuff. Like, okay, I'm not trying to get political because this is not what I'm talking about, like socialism word. Like I could give a rat's dick about socialism or whatever. If you want to talk any political issue on my podcast, you can go eat a dick. But all I'm saying is that a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, society should be more involved in the way we grow up, because we should be more like integral as a part of like our nation. No, we should not be doing that. We need to learn how to be individuals, self-sustaining. I think my ideal, like, if you ask me to say like what's the best utopia, I would say that everybody has like a perfect society. Like, I'm not saying this has to happen because it won't and it would suck.
Never.
But like a perfectly functional society would be a society where everybody gets one equal square of land that has like a farm on it. It grows crops. Everybody does their own work. Everybody sustains himself. No law, no government, no nothing, no bullshit. But because everybody's an individual. Yeah. There's no fucking GMOs. There's no genetic modifications. There's no parabens. There's no diactates. There's no any of that fucking artificial food dye coloring shit. There's no tectonic plate disruptions, volcanic eruptions, air pollution, chemtrails, QAnon, lizard men, fucking sunscreen, all that shit.
Yeah, the consequences of government are volcanic eruptions and sunscreen.
Lizard men, you know it. I mean, hey, but it could happen.
But like, sucks because like my values are inherently contradictory to the life I'm told to live.
Yeah.
A life we're supposed to live. Oh yeah, you want something? Let a college give it to you. You want happiness? Let a company give it to you. Maybe if you have a house, that'll happen too, or maybe a wife. Maybe she'll some happiness into it. It's like, no, I don't want any of that shit. I just want I just want to be a person that can survive on his own. I want to be a self-sustaining human being. Because, listen, I'm a teenager, right? And guess what? I've been raised under a roof that I did not purchase. I've eaten food that was not grown or nurtured or
provided
raised.
For you.
Yes. Everything I have has been given to me by a generous and loving family, which I'm happy to have and which I appreciate. By the way, kids, appreciate your parents even if they suck sometimes, because guess what? They've spent like a large fraction of the second half of their life just dedicated to continuing your existence.
This is true.
But that's besides the point. It's like, I don't know, like, our society is counter. The reason like people are like, oh yeah, student debt is killing me, or like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot myself after I get out of high school because I have no idea what to do with my life. I don't think it has to do with anything with like, oh yeah, this politician didn't get elected. Like, politics has nothing to do with it. What it is that we've raised a society which is too dependent on society.
Yep.
It's not the person that's self-sufficient. It's the society that's self-sufficient. People are batteries and society is the machine, and it should be the other way around. The person is the machine, and society is what powers it, right? I guess that's sort of what I want to teach people, but there's no...
I'd have to say that the best way to reach, like, real happiness is just be straight up with yourself, you know, be genuine. Be genuine, it's okay. You know, just be real. And I'm not one of those people who's like, you'll be happy if you're yourself kind of thing.
No, that's not true.
It's not always true. You know, we can think of a few cases right now of girls in your class who are themselves, and I wouldn't really say they're happiest either. I mean, actually don't know.
But it kind of goes with like the whole like, oh.
By the way, loud bitches, please join our podcast.
It kind of goes back to like, I mean, the whole like, oh, if you set your mind to anything or if you dream big enough, That's not fucking true.
Yeah.
You're not capable of anything. Hate to break it to you.
That's actually like.
But like that's the worst thing to tell someone, that they're capable of anything. Because like you need to have a mindset. I mean, because like, I'm just not capable of playing in the NFL. Like even if I could train my whole life, I'm not.
Dylan, if you dream big enough, I think you could play in the NFL.
No, life would be pretty good. I'm not. I'm not going to.
Dude, I think something is fucking wrong with my brain because I have no dreams.
No dreams.
Yeah, I don't know
No
what
shit.
I don't know what the fuck I want to do with my life. Straight up, like I go to sleep at night, pitch black.
Damn.
No, I'm not even being hyperbolic. I don't have dreams anymore. I just go to sleep.
Dude,
Wake up.
that's the funniest thing. Because last night I had a dream inside my dream.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
He's
craziest
been stealing
shit.
your dreams. That's
Oh
what's going on.
shit! That's gotta be what it
You're
is.
stealing Jacob's dreams.
Damn, my bad.
Some
I'm sorry.
X-Men
I'll try to
shit
give
right
him back.
there.
All right. Well, let's sleep
I
together
either
tonight.
don't have dreams or I have a dream and I forget it as soon as I wake up.
But like, I'm not even talking about just those dreams. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do at high school. Like, what am I gonna major? Oh, you should major in engineer. What the hell is engineering?
or business. It's like
business.
Okay, I'll do it. And then like it's like what is it?
Yeah.
Business.
What?
Like
Okay,
what the
Jacob
fuck am I gonna do?
Jacob majors in business. Here's how it goes. Oh yeah. I sell soybeans to people. I shoot myself at 45. That's it. Because like
I make like some money and I'm like kind of happy that I drink my life away and die.
Yeah. Because
I
guess
mean-
what? I have the unfortunate circumstance of being raised a large part by a person who was a large patron to the humanities, aka the language arts. So I've always wanted to be like an author or something like that, like a speaker, a motivational speaker, or something like that, who just goes around and tells people stuff. Like I don't know, I like doing that. I have a natural sort of wisdom. That's why I started this podcast. For God's sake.
You should be a journalist.
Nah, no, fuck journalists.
I mean,
Hell no.
not
Jacob
no,
hates
not.
journalism.
I mean, not like a politically sided journalist. Just more of like an independent, like.
They make zero money.
That's.
but they-
I mean, yeah, that is true.
But yeah, that's a job that doesn't exist.
Yeah, they're like
Fair enough.
They're like, hey, this is my little website. Like, come on.
You
And
described
then-
a blogger.
That's yeah, that's fair.
The thing about journalism is it's inherently political,
Yeah, that's true.
which
And then-
means I'm inherently uninterested.
That's fair.
Because I would rather eat out a dog than work for CNN or
Wow.
Fox News, for that matter.
Damn.
But
All right.
You
I
get
will
dogs.
go get a dog. I mean, what?
Go get a dog.
But yeah, like I don't know, like this. I mean, like you look at the greats in this field, like podcasting, like who made money out of podcast? Joe Rogan. Guess what he also does? He commentates wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably better at fucking the Dirty Bubble Ping Pong Challenge than I am at commentating wrestling. But like, I don't know. Like everybody who has my interest has a side hobby, which. But the thing is, I only have interests and no side hobby. Like, I feel like at this point, I think what I should do is I just should pick like some generic job that makes good money, but has no involvement in my passions, right?
Yeah.
But then
Basically,
again, like,
make your passions your hobby.
yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
that's
so.
another thing. People.
It's not the best idea, but if there's nothing else you can fall back on, you might
Yeah,
as
but
well.
then,
That's
but then the
true.
question is, what do I major in college? It's like, oh yeah, let's take any job. Like,
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Psychology. I'm just playing.
no,
Don't major.
psychology.
Don't major in
No,
psychology.
no.
You'll end up working at
Philosophy major.
McDonald's.
What's wrong with McDonald's? There's nothing wrong with McDonald's.
Dude, I'm talking working at McDonald's.
Working at McDonald's? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
But-
don't become a psychology or a philosophy major, or else you're gonna end up working.
Well, that's another thing. And this is something that's like
That's what I'm gonna do.
I see a lot of people just kind of like assume like your passions do not have to be your job. Like people assume that what you major in college and what your job is going to be, like that's going to be your life and
I have
that's
a
going to
passion
be
for business, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna come.
I
forward
have
and
a
say it.
passion for accounting. Like I love numbers, bro. Like be like it's if you find a job that helps you live out your passions, like that's great, but like people shouldn't expect like to nail that every time because like 9 out of 10 jobs like you're not going to be thrilled to do. It's just they pay well and then you can focus on what you want to like your passions in life on the side.
Yeah. Well, I think another really bad like stereotype that there is now is you have to go to college.
Yeah.
Like there are people that shouldn't be going to college, to college.
I'm gonna say it. College is good for your first job, You know, that's
Can be.
It's true.
but that's it.
Depends on it honestly depends on what you're doing. And,
Yeah.
Depends on your talent.
And it also depends on who you know. I mean,
Agreed. Yeah.
a lot
you
of it
you need to know
relies on that.
people to get. Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you can get in something and they will train you, if people look at experience and not whether or not you have a little sheet of paper that said, I sat in a classroom and drank beer at parties on the weekend for 4 years, here's my business degree. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's not, if you're going to look at experience over that, I mean, you really just need to work hard. You just need to work hard at, once you figure out what it is, I mean, just push yourself. You don't need college. I probably won't be going to college. And like, I look at people and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing after school?" "I'll go to college and I'll figure it out." Like, that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah. For real.
Like, go to college, pay $20,000 just to not know what you're gonna do. Like, what the hell? I mean, I will not know what I'm gonna do, but like, not be paying $20,000. You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just, I don't know. It's such a stereotype now, and I mean, trying to stay away from politics.
Dude,
But
You know what
I
I
wouldn't consider
noticed?
that political at all, though.
I think the pushing of like college as a narrative is getting political though, with the whole like free college and stuff like that.
That's true.
That's
I
true.
think that college is being made political,
Yeah.
involuntarily. It started out very started off to teach people but the only people going to college were like doctors, lawyers, like these people who really needed to learn something.
Yeah.
And now it's everyone.
It's just like,
I mean,
it's
now
you graduated high school. Next step of your life
Yeah.
is you need to get to college.
Yep.
And like even like high schools now with their like college board stuff and just
Yeah.
they're all pushing it so hard. They're like regardless of whether you want to go to college or not, a school administrator will
get
come
you
up
in
to you
there.
and be like, "You need to do this or else you're not going to get into college." Just like push up
Yeah.
like it's not the if this is what you want to do, you need to work towards this. It's you need to work towards this or you won't get into college. Like that's not a prime necessity of human life, but they're pushing it as it is.
Well, you want to know what's really concerning, and it's stuff that Carlin talked about back when he was alive. May God rest his soul.
Amen.
The man was a genius. Have you noticed that, like, what I was talking about, like how I want to go into writing and all that, how they do, the system does not reward that. They reward STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And do you ever wonder why that happens?
so fucking lame.
Well, there's a reason it's lame. It's because that stuff is constant. It doesn't change. It always leads to a menial job that perpetuates a menial system. Like, you punch numbers in a computer that makes the world run,
I
right?
just said science doesn't change. That's what science is.
Like, but its role in society doesn't change.
That's true.
Yeah, society-
You're right.
Society wants medicines. Science makes medicines.
That's true.
Society wants security. Engineers make computers, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, all this stuff is practical. Reason is all the same. Survival.
Yeah.
Society rewards you if you help it survive. But the thing is, we have starved out the important parts of society that we lack in Americans today. We start at art, literature, education, philosophy, higher learning, history, psychology, like the way your brain works. Like, all this stuff, and it's completely unprofitable, and I can tell you why. It's because it makes people think about what and who and why they're doing the things they are, right? It makes people question the world around them. It makes people wonder if it's worth it to sit 10 hours a day staring at a computer screen just so I can get enough points to buy a car. Like,
That's true.
our society is built around ones and zeros. It's hard to think about yourself. It's not hard to say 1 + 1 = 2, 2 times 9 = 18, 18 minus 2 = 16, 16 times 2 equals 32. Society loves that you do that because guess what? It has one answer, right or wrong. Society loves right or wrong.
That's
Society
true.
hates, oh, is this true or is this false?
Yeah, they
They like
yeah.
opinion.
They like objective. They hate subjective. They want
Actually,
they want everything to be in black and white.
I
kind of
wouldn't
thing.
even say it's objective versus subjective because I would argue the thing that is truth is inherently objective. I would
Yeah, I mean, sure. We're good.
I would say that they value what is arbitrary over what is eternal, right? Like,
Yeah, I'd agree.
because I mean, I don't know. Like, when's the last time you thought about what any of this was worth it, right? Like,
well, like school in general.
yeah, like when you die, do you like the fact that you spent 9 hours of every single day of your life doing basically nothing? I mean, you can make the argument, and it's a very fair argument, and it's one I still sort of believe that the value of labor is in and of itself self-fulfilling. Like, to have earned your own thing is a reward in itself and an honor in and of itself, which is true. But, like, the thing is, it only leads up to aesthetic pleasure. Like, oh yeah, I got a new thing for my house. Like, why were we put on this earth? We were put on this earth to find the truth and to find happiness.
Yeah. And, like, now everything's just money, you know?
Yeah.
It's all just a pyramid of money trying to get to the top.
Yeah, and it's just...
Like, money's good to have, but, like, it shouldn't be top priority in life. And nowadays, that's what everything portrays it as. And don't get me wrong, like, it's important to have money, but the fact that media these days is kind of making it the most important thing in your life. Mm-hmm. Like, money shouldn't fuel whether you can be happy or not. And that goes to say there's that whole term, money can't buy happiness. And
yeah, I mean, it certainly helps, but...
yeah, it does help, don't get me wrong, if you have... But you look at some of the loneliest people, like, take a look at, like, Mark Zuckerberg, you know? Yeah, I mean...
The robot.
He's got no one. Like, sure, youngest billionaire, but he's got no one. Mm-hmm. And, I don't give a damn how much money he has. I know deep down inside he probably goes to bed by himself wishing that, you know, I mean, I don't know, because he's Zuckerberg. He's kind of strange like that. But if I was in his position, you know, I'd wish I had someone to fall asleep with kind of thing. And he could probably buy someone to fall asleep with, obviously. But, like, you can't gain your own, like, personal pleasure from everything just, like, being clicked on a website and delivered to your house in 2 days kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, there needs to be more that you do in your life than make money and buy things that can lead you to living the best life you can. Like, you know, go places. You don't have to spend a ton of money just to have fun outside kind of thing. There's plenty you can do. Like, I recently started, like, hiking again. I used to hike a lot, and then we stopped. But, like, my dad and I will, like, drive out sometimes and just go, like, hike up a mountain. And that shit is, like, so much fun. And I have more fun, like, doing that than shopping. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, shopping is a lot of people's guilty pleasure, which is bad. But at the same time, not if it's really what's making you happy, then that's
argue,
valid.
I would argue that's the thing society should serve to protect, like, nature, I guess. Like, the stuff that is supplementary to the body and the soul.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I say, like, like, one of the few, like, government things I give a damn about is the National Park Service. Mm-hmm. I think it's the greatest thing that any, like, social institution has ever invented.
I agree.
Because, like, can you imagine if, like, Yellowstone National Park was filled with McDonald's and, like, AutoZone? Like, that would be a sheer defacement of God's bosom, bruh. Bosom.
Bosom.
Oh, guys, it's bosom, dude.
It's bosom.
It's bosom. It's five. It's five. Fuck it.
I kind of I think, like, the whole thing about the whole, like, money doesn't buy happiness. I think people kind of assume, because, like, a lot of adversity comes from money problems. Like, that's, I mean, challenges come when you don't have money.
Yeah.
But I think people think, like, oh, because you have adversity or you have to overcome challenges in your life, you're not happy, which isn't true. Like, I don't like doing school, but, like, when I'm outside, if I have, like, something to do, or if my parents are like, hey, can you, like, fix this thing, and I take on that challenge, and then, like, when I'm done, I see it, I'm like, that's my work, and I feel rewarded, I guess, by, like, seeing that I did something, which is what, I mean, so I just feel like money doesn't, but, well, like, you need it to an extent, especially in today's
I would say that's true, because I think if you want to take away one thing from this conversation, I would say that if you want to live a happy life, realize that labor is its own reward and that money is arbitrary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sheer opportunity to work and to have earned something for that work is the greatest opportunity. Whether it be money, whether it be strength, as in you exercise, whether it be you went to a place and you met somebody and you found happiness, you spread a little joy, you raised a family. that stuff takes energy, it takes exertion, it takes pain, but nobody's worth their weight in salt ever lived a life that was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
I mean, you see people like with easy lives, and I just feel bad for them, I guess, because
they're
like
so easily forgotten.
Yeah,
You know,
and-
like if you think of like
Yeah.
every icon in like history or just any icon from the past, you know, you see like troubles that they've overcome.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, you know, for most people, life is full of struggles, and those who greatly overcome are the ones that are remembered.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Dylan's saying, like I feel bad for the people who don't have problems in their life,
Yeah.
and they just kind of go through life, you know, just the straight and narrow, all day, every day, until, you know, they curl up and die.
What is that? Like, that has to suck ass.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
I
'Cause,
mean,
like,
come on.
Solving problems is probably one of the biggest things that can like bring me joy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I hate when a problem arises, but like looking at it afterwards and being like, oh shit, like I completed this, like this could have gone horribly wrong, and instead, you know, I made the best out of it. I did everything I could do, and you just kind of like look back on it. Like, especially I work a lot for like in my backyard, like fixing it up and stuff, because like my dad's getting kind of old, so he needs my help. And so I do a lot of that stuff, and like we recently like put up walls underneath this like shack that we have just to like fill in more space. And we're like this was like a couple week long project. And so like at the beginning I was just looking at like, bro, fuck this, it's gonna take forever, like it's not even gonna look that good. And we recently completed it, like just painted it over, coated it, kind of shit. And just looking back on it, like looking at it now, I wasn't even like imagining how good that looks. And that's kind of what gave me the pleasure at the end of it. It was like it's like a relief almost. And like that's the thing is like problems that come up in your life, I really don't find them negative, because solving them is like one of the greatest gifts that you've been given in life, kind of thing.
yeah, isn't that why jobs exist in the first place? Like food service, people are hungry, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I make food, that's a solution.
Yeah.
Like engineering, people want a machine, that's a problem. I make a machine, that's a solution.
Yeah, jobs solve problems. I mean, that's how it really started, you know. It was a couple cavemen, and they're like, yo, there's this big fucking T-Rex that's trying to rip into our assholes, and one guy was like, I'm gonna start a job, and I'm gonna invite other people, and we're all gonna team up and take this motherfucker down. That's like, we wouldn't consider that a job, but like at in their time, like I'm probably being very historically inaccurate. I don't think T-Rexes were around the same time as cavemen were, but you know what I mean.
It's an analogy.
Yeah, it's an analogy. It happened in a different Earth. Yeah, I did try.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, even in like the most like the oldest times of, I wouldn't even consider like humans, just even like animals, you know, there were problems, and they'd get together and they'd work on it, you know. It's always been a thing since the beginning of time, is problem solving, you know, setting something up. There's like no difference from then to now, besides the fact that we have company names and we're getting paid in cash, which just can be used to buy other things that we're going to end up losing anyways. But the same satisfaction of completing a job can still be here, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I work at fucking Little Caesars, but I don't get me wrong, I hate work while I'm there. Like, while I'm there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to die, I just want to go home, but like, afterwards, I'm like, man, that was kind of fun, can't wait to do it again tomorrow. Like, I just enjoy working, because like, and I know, like, I remember being the kid walking into Little Caesars, like, with my dad when I was little, be like, yeah, we're getting pizza, and like, I was so excited, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm good, like, when I see little kids coming, because I do tend to work the register, and like, we have these free cookies from you, hand them cookies, like, I like seeing people light up like that, I guess. I don't know, like, obviously I'm not making like any people's day. They come in after a 9 to 5 and they're like, all right, I just need a pepperoni pizza. Like, obviously I'm not making his day, but like, I mean, just, I know that I'm helping every one of those people in a way, like, because whether it's like the mom didn't want to make dinner because she was tired, so they came and got pizza. Like, anyways, I know it helps, and that just gives me a lot of, it just gives me a sense of fulfillment, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like, just that I did something, and it made a difference. I mean, it's not a huge difference in the world, but it's a difference. And any difference is a difference, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I would say one of the most fulfilling things I did over the past few summers is like I remember this one time. I think it was last summer actually. Yeah, because it was COVID summer. I did. Basically, what I did is because our driveway had kind of like screwed up or whatever because like we hadn't washed in years. So I just went out. Pair of shorts, AirPods. I kept the case in my pocket, which I didn't want it to fall out, so I took like a what's it called, like a push pin, and I just sealed my pocket shut. And a pair of sunglasses, nice shirt, Arnold Palmer. That I took my pressure washer. I just pressure washed my driveway and my back patio for like 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And most people would find that boring, but that was the most fun shit I've ever done. That is more. It was more fun than any video game that has ever existed. Like, I would do that until I died, and I would be happy. Like, it's just nice. There's nothing more satisfying than just like applying yourself and getting something done.
I mean, back to what Dylan was saying about, people's faces lighting up when, they get a free cookie as kids in Little Caesars. That's really exciting. It's the same thing as, like, Publix, Like, I remember being a little kid, and my mom would be like, okay, yeah, you can go up and get a cookie. Yeah. And, like, I'd flip my shit. I'd be like, let's go, get a cookie, yes, sir. But there's this quote to anyone who's seen Pirates of the Caribbean. Will Turner, he's the sword craftsman, and after the governor compliments, like, the work, the governor thought that, like, the owner of the sword shop, blacksmith shop, whatever you want to consider. Not blacksmith, what am I talking about?
It would be iron something.
Yeah.
It's not Dick Smith.
The owner of the store made the sword, but it was actually him. And he said, a craftsman is always proud to hear his work is appreciated. And when I heard that, it really made me think, because I work with, like, artists in the music industry, but not like famous artists, obviously, or else, I'd have a lot more money. But
you wouldn't be here doing a podcast with us.
I'd probably be in, like, which is a good thing, but I'd rather be here. But I work with a lot of, like, small-time artists, and I love just, like, sending them the music and just, like, seeing their response or, like, hearing their response in person, just, like, once they hear it. And it's so nice to, like feel like someone appreciates the work that you put in, because I put a lot into, like, the beats that I make or, like, the songs that I write for people kind of thing. Like, I spend a lot of time on them, and I always feel like I did a really good job if I get, like, a good reaction back. And, like, don't get me wrong, if someone's just like, oh yeah, this sounds good, like, I'm still, like, happy about that. But, like, people being like, oh bro, this is fire and shit like that, like, that's just afterwards, like, it just makes me want to go write more kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing. I bet Dylan feels the same way. Like, if he's working at Little Caesars and he's like, oh my god, I just want this day to end. And then some kid comes in and he gets a free cookie and he's super excited about it. I feel like Dylan's probably just like, all right, that just, like, boosts your adrenaline. It gives you some, like, serotonin levels kind of thing. It makes you want to work more. Like,
I think that's just kind of like human nature, though, to an extent. Like, you're supposed to feel good about what you did. And, like, if you mess up, you're supposed to be like, shit, gotta fix this.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, it's just, that's the way it's supposed to work. I mean, that's how our brains are wired. And I think, to an extent, like, some people have just kind of lost that. They've been, like, they haven't really, like, wanted to work, I guess, to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, the blue-collar class, the working class, like, the really wants to get their hands dirty. Kind of feel like that's dying out, but, I mean, I don't know. I think it's also going to come back soon, just because it's going to have to. People, like Jacob said, like, there's supply and demand. Like, we need this, so you make it. Like, it's just, like, how it's going to work. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just supposed to be that way. Yeah. I mean, it works because, it works well because everyone complements each other, and that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
That's how society's supposed to run.
No, I agree.
Cripes, what am I going to call this episode? Pizza and the Nature of Labor?
Pizza and Economics. How pizza affects economics.
Pizza, Macroeconomics, and the Nature of Adversity. Yes, that's going to be the name.
Yeah, there we go.
Jesus Christ.
kind of jumped all over the place and always came back to
but
society.
it's nice to have like a sort of existential episode like this.
Yeah, man. Most of the time we're just joking around about sticking Jacob's Harry Potter
Yeah,
one
it's
up
a
a
far
guy's
cry
ass.
from the days of old.
Yeah, this is.
We were
this
just
is,
talking about Joe laughing at Gabe making a prophylactic joke about him sticking a pencil into a fucking chair.
Yeah, and this is a lot
That was
nicer
the low
than.
point of society.
It really was.
Hey,
Like-
no, dude. I feel like we'll have a lot more like fucking jokes in the big guy episodes where I have like 8 people.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
that's where the comedy really, like the zingers really start coming, and people
Oh, for
can,
sure.
and that's actually where people can act like individuals more. Like
Yeah.
people show their more individual
But
personalities.
what I really like about this is I feel a lot better like finishing off this episode as we are now than I did on those episodes. Like, don't get me wrong, like we'd all be like dying laughing by the end of the episode, and like that was always like really nice to hear. But actually sitting down with you three and having like a real ass conversation about things that are actually happening in the world is so much better than telling like 40 people who watch our videos about our high school stories. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a great conversation to have in person, but the more I think about it, and the more I'd be like, hey, we have this podcast, you should listen to it. Like, and then they go listen to it, and they like come back and they like report, they're like, yo, that was like really sick and stuff. Y'all are making more and that kind of stuff. I just sit back and think, you know, like there's no way like on this earth that they sat there, listened to the entire thing of us just talking about our high school stories and reported back to me that there were no flaws in it, you know? Like they're like, this is great, this is like one of the best podcasts I've seen kind of thing. Like that's just BS, you know? And like that's what I really like about this podcast now is we're talking about like real issues instead of rating our favorite Christmas movies or talking about Overwatch characters like we did in 6th grade. And like that was so much fun, don't get me wrong, but just for the moment.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it was just a forgotten memory kind of thing. Like it gets brought up when we talk about podcasting, but that's it. But like now that we're talking about this and like economics and stuff, and like anytime this stuff is gonna get brought up, I'm gonna think of the podcast, you know, just because we sat here for an hour and discussed this stuff, and that's just. I had so much fun doing it. You know, it was interesting. It was entertaining. You know, we had some high talks, we had some low talks. It went all around the place, but it all kind of revolved around the same thing, and we were all pretty sophisticated about it. There were no like stupid Joe jokes kind of thing. You know, I'm not dissing on Joe.
Hear that, Joe?
Yeah. I hope we're cool. I know we're off on the wrong foot right now.
I would argue that the nature of this podcast is to report that sort of what seems to be arbitrary high school stories. I think that's actually essential to the nature of the podcast because it's what, as we talked about, society tries to reject. We say that your experience doesn't matter, that this stuff is arbitrary, that your life should be defined by work and stuff. Like, and this sort of high-minded rhetoric is nice, but it only serves to show how important the simple act of conversation is. We should never sacrifice just talking about our high school experiences, because that's what we should promote, honestly. Like the simple act of just expressing ourselves. I mean, if we want to stay true to ourselves, honestly and truly, that's what we should be doing. So no, it's not going anywhere, of course. In fact, without that, this podcast would be nothing.
I
don't
mean,
know.
this is the shit that's gonna stick around. You know, I mean, we're graduating 3 semesters, whatever it is. I mean, I'm so happy,
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
I don't want to be in high school anymore.
But yeah.
I mean, this stuff's gonna stay, and I mean, poke each other, and I mean, just messing around in high school. I mean, it's gonna be memories we have.
But
yes,
I would argue that something that can be
concrete.
enjoyed for its own sake is something we need right now, because
especially at a time like right now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think we should. This episode has proved the theory that we need to tell more stories, say stuff that society deems unworthy of our attention, because maybe, just maybe, that's those things we view as irrelevant or stupid, or that many people feel as unprofitable or irrelevant, is actually the most relevant thing of all.
It's just pure enjoyment.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I had this podcast. That's why we talk about random shit. It's not just an aimless thing so we can preserve memories. It's so we can enjoy the very nature of conversation itself.
Yeah.
I mean, why else would I have a podcast if it was just going to be a fucking news report?
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess that concludes tonight's broadcast. I don't know where
Tonight, this morning, I don't know what fuck time it is.
This morning. Leave your bets in the comments on who's gonna win the Super Bowl. If you win, I'll mail you a pizza roll.
I think the Hawks are gonna win.
The Hawks
Seahawks.
aren't fucking playing.
I know.
Who's playing again? I'm on culture.
It's the Chiefs and
The
the
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
I kind of want the Bucks to win.
No,
No?
that's Tom Brady, and we.
Are
don't
you
like
against
Tom
Tom Brady? I guess
Brady. I'm a Bills fan.
All right,
I'm a
we're
Bills
not
fan.
we're not finished with this podcast. But would you consider Tom Brady the GOAT? You say he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Okay, I think. I don't want to, but he's a good quarterback. Yeah, and I kind of feel like it's just like I don't know. I don't want to call him the GOAT, but he is a good quarterback. I think that's a discussion for another day.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's a lot. I could go on about it a lot. Me and my dad, whenever we go out to eat, we always talk about football. So
I mean, I got you. We'll have a sports podcast. So
yeah, let's do it.
Cue it up some other time.
Yeah.
But
we could make a you and Dylan.
for tonight,
sports broadcast.
signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and tell your friends.
Yeah, share this podcast.
See you around.
Let's get this shit
up. And by the way, this is podcast 1 of petitioning the members of Loud Bitches to collab.
Yes,
Yes,
Loud
please.
Bitches.
Come on.
Alyssa
Just doing it one
and
episode.
Loud
All we
Bitches
ask is for one.
I'm a
We're
big
your
fan of your
biggest
work.
fans. We will make your fucking career.
Tear down the dress code.
Yes, dude. All women are queens, guys.
All
We're not
women
gonna
are
send you on a
queens.
Snapchat, dude. Just listen to us, please.
One time.
One time.
Yeah,
One
one
podcast.
time, one time.
Please collab with us.
Okay, hey.
For listening, please.
We're your biggest friends.
I think that concludes our podcast.